Greenpeace has been fighting for our planet for 50 years.
And we thought we'd celebrate by looking back on some of our greatest victories. Let's go!
Greenpeace was founded in 1971 by Dorothy and Irving Stowe and now has offices in over 55 countries across the world. Our goal is to ensure the ability of the Earth to nurture life in all its diversities. We protest by bearing witness and taking direct action on behalf of the planet.
Hi, I'm Oriane and I've joined Greenpeace around 10 years ago. So that was actually around the time where I was a young teenager. At the time I started to understand a little bit more what was happening with the environment and climate change and to an extent the climate emergency.
So I'm John, I'm the coordinator of Canterbury Greenpeace. I've been doing this for about 12 or 13 years and I speak on behalf of Greenpeace as well. And all through that time, 10, 12 years or so, I've been collecting Greenpeace memorabilia, stamps, CDs, records, movies, and a big collection of books.
The very first Greenpeace action was sailing towards Amchitka to protest nuclear testing. The first bomb went off, but the protest was so successful that the rest of the test plans were abandoned. This was only the beginning. France gave up testing in '74, and after decades of campaigning, a global ban was finally passed in 1996.
We've had some great success with forests. In 2004 we worked with the Deni to protect their Amazon homeland from being illegally sold to a logging company, which led to Brazil's president officially recognising them as owners and stewards of over 1.6 million hectares of rainforest. We also worked with First Nation groups to secure protection for over 2 million hectares of Great Bear rainforest in 2006, in one of the greatest environmental victories in Canadian history. More recently we put a stop to fracking in England, and back in 1982, as I'm sure you know, we saved the whales.
I decided in my kind of late 20s that I cared about these issues, wanted to do something about them, and it was kind of felt we're just kind of moaning about them on Facebook or whatever, or talking about it. I actually wanted to take action, and Greenpeace were the numero uno for that, on climate action and other nature issues.
I joined Greenpeace because I'd been doing a lot of other things beforehand in conservation and changing my own lifestyle and working with refugees and other organisations, and I just felt like the climate crisis needed more urgent addressing, and I felt like Greenpeace is a good way into to start engaging with activism.
In the 1980s, Greenpeace set up camp in the Antarctic to protest against mining and oil exploitation. And after 7 years, in 1991, we succeeded in getting the Antarctic Treaty States to agree to a new set of environmental rules, which included a 50-year ban on exploitative mining. More recently, in 2015, Greenpeace protests around the world, including a petition to get LEGO to drop ties with them, succeeded in getting Shell to cease their activities in the Alaskan Arctic.
The fight against the climate crisis is at the heart of everything we do. After years of campaigning, BP has finally committed to cutting its oil production and boosting renewable energies. In 2009, brave Greenpeace activists caused Kings North power plant to shut down by climbing its 200-metre-tall chimney, transforming the debate on coal power and pushing for a more renewable future. In 2014, our Detox My Fashion campaign got over 80 companies to pledge to phase out harmful chemicals, and they're making a great difference.
And my favourite campaign was the palm oil campaign, simply because at the time it wasn't a commonly understood issue, and it also involves obviously animals, protection of animals, and to me that's very important as well, obviously.
And they do some really great things, the other day where they fly those drones, that was incredible, painting out showing, you know, it was very sci-fi the way it showed pictures of animals and, you know, act now.
To protect the oceans, Greenpeace combines intense direct action with high-level political pressure, as shown by our campaign against dumping, where we occupied the notorious Shell Brent Spar platform. More recently, in 2018, the UK government outlawed the use of plastic microbeads, in direct response to over 2 years of campaigning from us and other groups. And in 2020, Denmark banned the development of new oil developments in the Danish part of the North Sea, a major win for green technology and the end of fossil fuels.
We've recently had some big wins for clean air, with the pressure we put on the government leading to their announcement to ban the sale of petrol and diesel cars and vans by 2030, a full decade earlier than planned. We're also making better use of our powerful ocean winds, with thousands of wind turbines. And the government have promised to use this energy to power every home in the UK within a decade.
It's the first book I found about Greenpeace. I found this in a second-hand bookshop in Farnham. It's by Robert Hunter. It tells how we started in Vancouver back in 1971 and the voyage of the first boat we christened Greenpeace. That was an old halibut signer called the Phyllis Cormac. And on that boat, Robert Hunter took this book with him. It had been gifted to him by a stranger who said it might be interesting. You can see from the label the impact it had on us. This is the book that contained the quote, "When the earth has been ravaged and the animals are dying, a tribe of people from all races and creeds and colours will put their faith in deeds, not words, to make the land green again. They will be called the Warriors of the Rainbow."
What has Greenpeace achieved? It's achieved a lot of things, especially with regards to our oceans and conservation and campaigning and just resisting. And it can feel like when you take a look at the world that, you know, not a lot has changed, and maybe you can feel like there's some sort of failure. But actually, when you really take stock of what, you know, organisations like Greenpeace and other organisations as well have achieved and have been able to resist, you know, the things that they have been able to resist, you know, the planet would be in a far worse state than it is. You know, it's in a bad state, but it would be in a far worse state than it is if it wasn't for these organisations. And really, I think we paved the way for a lot of the language and understanding of these huge problems as well.
We're incredibly proud of all the work that Greenpeace has done over the last 50 years, and we would like to thank everyone that has been involved. The Earth needs more people to fight for a greener, better future. So thank you very much.
Did you know that very first Greenpeace action was funded by a benefit concert in 1970? I thought that we'd end with one of the hits from that night. And put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved the paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, ba 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 ba. Ooh, ba 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 ba. They took all the trees and put them in a tree museum. And they charge the people $1.50 just to see him. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved the paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, ba 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 ba. Ooh, ba 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 ba. Hey farmer, put away that DDT now. Give me spots on my apples and leave me the birds and the bees, please. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved the paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, ba 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 ba. Ooh, ba ba. Late last night I heard the screen door slam, and a big yellow taxi took away my old man. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved the paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, ba 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 ba, ooh, ba ba. I said, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved a paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, ah, ba 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 ba, ooh, ah, ba ba ba. They paved a paradise and put up a parking lot. They paved a paradise and put up a parking lot.